Hello and welcome to TM Media. Today we will be covering the story of the Jacobite Rising and how it changed Britain forever. This will be brought to you in 3 parts as it is not a short story. Let's begin. Part 1: How the Jacobite Rising began. Scotland in the early 18th century was a nation simmering with resentment, divided loyalties, and unfinished business. To understand why the Jacobite Rising began, we need to go back to a king who lost his throne. James VII of Scotland and II of England. In 1688, James was overthrown during what became known as the Glorious Revolution. He was Catholic, and in a country increasingly dominated by Protestant power, that alone made him unacceptable to Parliament. He fled to France, and the crown passed to his Protestant daughter Mary and her husband William of Orange. From that moment on, the seeds of rebellion were planted. Those who believed James, and later his descendants, were the rightful monarchs became known as Jacobites, from the Latin Jacobus, meaning James. For them, the removal of the Stuart line was illegal, an insult to divine right, and an English interference in Scottish affairs. Tensions deepened after the 1707 Act of Union, which united the Scottish and English parliaments. While some elites benefited, many ordinary Scots felt betrayed. Scotland had lost its independent parliament. Its political voice weakened, and economic hardship followed. In the Highlands especially, loyalty to clan, king, and tradition remained strong. Jacobite unrest flared repeatedly in 1689, 1715, and again in 1719, but none succeeded in restoring the Stuarts. Still, the cause refused to die. By the 1740s, the Stuart claim rested with Charles Edward Stuart, the grandson of the deposed king. Known to history as Bonnie Prince Charlie, he was born in Rome and had strong connections to France who supported his claim to the throne. He was young, charismatic, and convinced that Scotland would rise if he set foot on its soil. Against the advice of many, and with limited French backing, Charles landed in the Highlands in July 1745. He arrived with little money, few weapons, and almost no army, but what he did have was belief. On the 19th of August 1745 at Glenfinnan, Charles raised his father's standard and called on the clans to support him. Slowly at first, then in growing numbers, Highlanders answered the call. The Jacobite Rising of 1745 had begun, not as a grand invasion, but as a gamble fueled by loyalty, grievance, and hope. And that gamble would soon shake Britain to its core. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed Part 1, please give the video a like as it helps the channel out. Also, please consider subscribing so you don't miss Part 2 and 3.